Hey everybody, Anthony Chatfield here with How to Become a Freelancer in 30 Days. Today, day 9, we're going to talk about populating your web presence. This is about creating content that illustrates your skills and pitches potential clients so that if they find it, they will be more interested in hiring you. Alright, so the goals for today, what we're going to be talking about is creating content that can be published on a simple website within the next couple of days. We want to clearly demonstrate your skills through the content you develop and present, and we want to update and optimize your portfolio for both website and freelance sites. The bottom line is we want people to see how awesome you are at a quick glance and in as many places as possible. All right. So in terms of a basic website, you want to keep it really simple because you don't have a lot of time and you want to get something up sooner than later. The the basic list of stuff that I've included here, a list of services, so what you can offer people, what they can pay you to do, contact information, how they can get a hold of you, and on that page you might include not only your email address, but a Skype ID, your Elance portfolio, any other websites you're on. Make it easy for them to contact you in whatever way they want. And then a portfolio of your work showing what you can do, as well as a quick about you, so people can learn, like where you went to school, what your hobbies are, what your professional expertise is, maybe a link to your LinkedIn page. All right. So everything else is helpful, but not really vital to launch. A really basic website is going to have 5 pages to get started. That's all you really need. Okay. So before we jumped too far ahead, I wanted to show you kind of what my websites looked like, what the evolution of my online presence was. And just going to be honest up front, I don't actually have a photo of the first website I built. It was really, really ugly, and back then I didn't think to take any screenshots. And it was long enough ago that if you went to the Wayback Machine on Archive, you can't actually find it. So, or it won't actually pull up the images. So, we'll start with this one. This is SeattleFreelance.com, the second website for my first business. And I launched this in 2007, I believe. So, just a year out of college. And to be honest, too, going back even further, I've been building websites since I was 12, just for the heck of it. So this is probably like the 4th website I've had with my name on it. There was a few others. Went through this phase where I built this thing called Junk House because I just put random stuff on it. There was another website that was mostly a blog that actually cost me a job at one point because I went to a job interview and they read it and it wasn't super recruiter facing. So I learned lessons there, but this is my first business and then my second website for that business. So you can kind of see the very, very basic outline, home, about, portfolio, contact, PLR is this product thing I offered. There's just content people could buy. I had somebody do this illustration at the top, which I still think is kind of cool, but the website itself is pretty basic. So that was the first one. Then when Great Leap Studios was launched back in 2009, late 2008, early 2009, this is the first website we built. It's a theme. It was not WordPress. It was an HTML theme with this slider here. And I built it before the company even existed. And it worked. It was basic enough. It had a blog. It had home, about us, portfolios, blog, contact, services. So the same basic 5 things plus that blog. Try to keep it pretty basic. I just want to touch on the bare minimum stuff we needed to actually make a sale if someone landed on the website. About a year later, we launched the second edition of Great Leap Studios, and this is actually still up. It's run by my former business partner. He still runs this. So you can see a lot cleaner, a little bit nicer. It's in WordPress, so it's a little more flexible and easier to build out. Here's the home, services, specials. That's something we added, selling directly off the website. About us, blog, contact. And then the portfolio content's actually down here below the fold. You can easily access all that. So this is the current version of that website. So you can see how it kind of evolved over time. And then one last one I wanted to show you is my personal website and blog. This has been up for, basically since right when I graduated college. I launched a blog called thechatfield.com. Very clever, right? And I've been blogging there since 2006. I've since actually deleted quite a few posts from the blog, so now you can only see maybe 100 or so, including the most recent 15 from the last year or so. It's on purpose. A lot of those posts were just a kid just out of college goofing around, writing content to fill up a blog. Some of them were blatantly trying to manipulate the search engines. Others just had really bad best practices and would have needed to be rewritten. Didn't get much traffic anyway, so it didn't matter. But you can go back. You can see some of my earliest posts. They are a few years old. And this is just where I post, mostly it's content about marketing and productivity. So, stuff that's interesting to me and that I feel I have a good angle on. You can also find links to ebooks I've written, some other resources to download, contact information. There's some information here about me and my background and stuff I like and all sorts of cool stuff. Like if you want to learn about me, this is where you go. All right. And then those are my websites. So you can still go to seattlefreelance.com. You can still go to greatleapstudios.com. I no longer own them, but they are still up. And then anthonychatfield.com is updated every week with new content, so you can check that out as well. But the key here is not to get too attached. I mean, the goal of your website is to be there and provide information. It's not this final perfect iteration of who you are and what you do. But at the same time, it's the hub of all of your online activity. So it needs to exist because this is something you 100% control. If Elance crashed tomorrow or their business went under or they decided they don't like you for whatever reason and they banned your account, you instantly lose access to that account. Nobody can do that to you in your website unless you're doing something really, really bad. So you are a business owner. This is an asset, something you own, and you should be growing it in value. So even if you're not going to get work through it right away, if it gets no traffic and nobody sees that website, it should exist at least so you can use it. You can put it on business cards. You can put it in the signature of your email. You can put it on your social media profiles. That's how important it is. And it's how people are going to judge you when they start to find out about you. So ideally, any website you build is going to show up number one when somebody searches for you in Google. That's important because then you can control what they see about you. It's not some random Facebook or LinkedIn page, which you still control, but it's in their format. And at the same time, if somebody else has your name, then you have to fight on that front too. So it's a very important tool. You don't have to spend a fortune or a ton of time doing it, but it's important that you do it. All right. Now, the content creation part, this is the part most people, they come to me and they say, I understand everything you just said, but I do not have time to write that much stuff. So just some really quick tips here to keep it short and easy. You only need at least 300 words per page. That's the minimum. That's what Google wants to see. So if you hit that point, you're good. Use images where applicable. I usually say one image per 300 words. So in this case, one per page. And then if you're having trouble writing about yourself, ask a friend or family member to do it for you. I find this is a really quick and easy way to do it. They'll write it, you edit it, it gets done really fast, and then you don't have to sit there and torture over how to describe yourself, which I know a lot of people have trouble with. I know I did when I got started. But keep it simple and straightforward. Don't try to get cute or clever or to overthink it too much. Just get to the point. What do you offer? What have you done? Done. That's it. If you're going to spend a lot of time on anything, spend it on your portfolio. I often, whether I'm interviewing somebody for a job, a writer or something, or I'm, looking at profiles, hiring a contractor, I'm always astounded when people send in samples or send over a portfolio that is not polished. This is literally the best work you should have because that's the stuff you're showing to people. And if it doesn't look good to me, the person who's thinking about hiring you, it's an instant no. I don't care what the resume looks like. I don't care how nice you are. I don't care how responsive you are, what your price is. If your portfolio doesn't look good, it's an instant no. Like, that's not something I can look over. So spend a lot of time on that. This is like, when you go into a job interview, you put on a suit because you want to look good. When you send in a portfolio, you spend 10 times longer than you would on a normal piece because you want it to look good. All right, so a good portfolio should illustrate each skill you claim to have. So if you have 5 services, you should have at least 5 items in your portfolio, one for each of those services, so you can show that you've done it. It should showcase your very best work. The only caveat to this is if some of the best work you've done is with people who won't let you share it. You should always ask people before you share it because you don't want to have any issues later. If you're under NDA, for example, you obviously can't share it. If they just don't want you to, or don't want you to use their logo, you have to be careful on that front as well. It should entice someone to want to learn more about you. So it should be, evocative or interesting or exciting or new or different. If you're a designer, show something that's a little bit different than other people in your field, because then it shows that you can, you stretch a little bit. And then answer specific questions prospects might have before they ask them. So if you're getting a lot of questions on Elance, or you just think people are going to ask you a lot about, your background in a particular area, let's say you really want to get work writing about software that's interesting to you, and you're going to bid on those kinds of projects, your portfolio should include content that relates to that industry. Write about software. Even if you don't have a job, go write about it. Do a review of a recent release or talk about an industry trend. Put that in your portfolio, because then when people ask, can you do it? You're like, yes, look at my portfolio. All right, so today's action, let's keep it real simple. Do a quick sitemap for your website. Remember those 5 pages I talked about is the bare minimum. Write something really simple for each page to get it started. So that's 1,500 total words. That might sound like a lot, but if you just do a couple hundred, every day for the next week or so, you'll be done. Build up a portfolio so you can fill it in over the coming days. If you're getting projects already, awesome. You're going to use that content. If you aren't, then look back to old stuff you've done or things you can work on in your spare time the next couple days to fill in that portfolio. Ideally, it's done in, within 2 weeks or so. All right. And then don't fuss over the details. It's really, really easy to become a perfectionist about a website. Trust me, I've been down that road. Most people rebuild their websites every 2 years or so. So don't kill yourself trying to make it look perfect. Just get it up, make it functional, make it look professional, obviously. But as long as it exists, you're good. All right. So that's everything for today. Make sure you leave comments below if you have any questions. Check out the notes. That's where you're going to find all the links for everything today. And then make sure to leave a review and a rating if you've been watching along the entire way. I really appreciate it. And shoot me an email if you have any questions. All right, so I'll talk to you tomorrow.